Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of the Artist Podcast. We're going to open up the show today with a song from our featuring guest. So sit back and enjoy. That was Me and Blue by Manny Bianco, or as we know him, Charlie Howard. The episode starts off with slight confusion as we try to work out how to refer to both Charlie, my co-host, and Charlie, the guest. But we do quickly move on from this slight confusion, and it turns out to be quite a good episode in the end. So sit back and enjoy this episode. Do you want to be interviewed as Charlie Howard or Manny Bianco?
Charlie Howard, because that's me. Manny Bianco is music, not art.
All right. Yeah, but art's music. We can count. Sorry, music's art. We can count that in.
Yeah, I suppose you can do. Yeah, but now don't interview me as Manny Bianco.
All right. We won't. Charlie, you've got some stuff you want to ask, don't you?
I've lost my shit.
You've lost your
Oh,
shit.
Charlie, this is
This is
confusing.
going to be quite awkward.
Oh right, yeah. I'll refer to you as Manny Bianco. Then.
Hey, Manny.
Woody and Howie.
Woody and Howie.
Can do it like that.
Wait then. I've got it up now, one sec. How's lockdown been treating you?
You want to write that down?
Well, I've wrote them all down, so I know what's what.
That's alright.
And obviously that was going to be the opening question, but then you've just come in with, so are we calling Manny Bianco or what?
What's your name again?
I'll have to call you a coward.
So, Howie, how's lockdown been treating you?
It's kind of like, it's a bit of a curse, isn't it? Because it's between not having anything to do and being really bored a lot of the time, then like as well as sort of having loads of time to do things that you never normally have time to do. So I get a sort of sense of dread that I'm not using my time properly, but I feel like I'm managing.
I think what have you been doing with your time?
Making loads of music, doing a bit of art, not really doing anything like that. Don't know, just sort of starting off loads of things and not really finishing that many things.
That's fair. I think you're allowed to. Everyone should be allowed to take a breather at the moment with lockdown. It's well deserved. Like humanity just takes a bit off and just like relaxes. So
yeah, I'm worried that I'm going to get a bit too used to doing a lot less though.
I don't want to go back to work, me.
You're going to get addicted to furlough.
Yeah, it's perfect. You've almost made a full album, haven't you, during lockdown?
I mean, yeah, if like you could do a full album with just like sort of 10-second loops, not actual songs. Yeah. Like I've got like a 2-disc album worth of half songs.
What do you mean by half songs?
Songs that aren't finished.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Songs that have barely started.
So the idea is there, but it's not like completely finished yet.
Well, I mean, it's literally just like a sort of like a few bars. It's not really structured to or anything like that.
That's alright. Mm-hmm. So, for our listeners at home, do you want to give us a rundown of the work you've been making throughout the past couple of years, or since your practice has started?
Yeah. So I graduated Leeds Arts Uni last year, and while I was there, I went through sort of. I started off being like, well, I'm gonna be an abstract painter. That's gonna be the thing for me. But I sort of moved sort of away from that into sort of more like video installation work. Try to juggle them at the same time for a bit, and then sort of it just wasn't really working for me. So I've sort of most of the things I do now end up turning into like video installations essentially. I use a lot of projection. A lot of like analog ways of filming. I make sort of quite like abstract videos. I sort of like thinking was like kind of like paintings that are digital moving images.
Yeah.
It's all very like textural footage, if you like. That's why I like sort of analog stuff, because it's like it comes with a texture that sort of grain that you don't really get with like sort of more modern cameras.
Yeah, I understand.
Saying that, I'm not even using. Everything I've done over lockdown has been on my new phone, which is quite HD.
People always try to emulate like the analog aesthetic as well, don't they, with filters and stuff like that, and it's not the same. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, I think for me that's quite risky because I feel like it can look very tacky very quickly.
I believe it can do as well. It's like when that glitch movement was a thing and people just kept on using apps to do the glitch and it was all the same.
Yeah. I'm pretty sick with it. Maybe they'll master it one day and they'll have like a really accurate.
Have you ever tried working with hex videos, Charlie?
What is it now?
So you can get a hex editor on your computer. I can't remember the actual. I think it's just hex.ex or whatever it's called. It's just an application where you can open the files of like say a video or a photo, and you can mess up the code that obviously runs the video in the background. But you can change the code to other things, so it glitches your video for you, so it looks like it's been like deep fried type thing, but you can manipulate it yourself.
I suppose it's sort of like rather than putting filters on it, it's like
you've actually
manipulating like the root of the data, isn't it?
I've tried to do it a couple of times, but every time I get to a point where I'm almost happy with it, you take an X2 and like a one step too far, and it completely corrupts the file and it completely destroys it. So
yeah,
I can always dabble with it, but it's so hard to get control.
Do you not make any backups?
No.
Don't
work like that.
No, good mate, good. I respect it.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing since you finished your BA then? Tell us about your projects, your shows, what you've done, what pieces you've made.
I've sort of, before, I mean, I could lie and say it's because of lockdown, but I think sort of before lockdown, I was sort of, everything was slowing down a bit.
Yeah.
Just because, the world of work gets involved when you leave uni and stuff like that.
It definitely does. You're right.
Yeah. But I think, as well, one my main sort of partner in crime for the sort of organising shows and doing stuff with also moved away from Leeds, so that was that was sort of slowed things down a bit as well.
Very
Who's
inconvenient.
that for the people at home?
That's Ben Sargent. Are you interviewing him?
I've relied on Charlie to get in touch with him. I don't know if you have yet, Charlie.
No, I was going to message him yesterday, but I forgot to.
Yeah, if Charlie gets him on, I'll definitely interview him. I've never talked to him before, so it'd be good.
Yeah, I don't think Tom's ever met him. No.
I haven't. No.
I reckon, he'll be good to interview. He's good at what he does.
Yeah. He's got a lot of talk.
He's moved back to Exeter, so that's like not been like a main reason why. It's just sort of helped me take my foot off the gas, really. But I'm taking a year out. So I'm going to do my masters in 2021. I've just deferred it, and I'm going to spend the next year sort of. Well, I want to sort of start my masters, hit the ground running, sort of thing. So I need to start running, basically.
Yeah, of course. I don't know. There is like a culture of starting masters straight away from education in the UK, where different countries don't do that as much. So, like in America, like our friend Michael Lent, who's the university lecturer at Teesside, he took about 8 years out between his university education and going to do his masters, and then came over. But it just shows that like you can take the time off before you go back into education. You don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, I think some places, depending on where you're applying, I know there are some courses that like sort of, you know, if you ask anyone if you're applying for them, and you ask people who've done it before, they'll say leave it, don't apply straight out of uni because they want people who've left and done stuff.
I'd agree quite a bit.
Like, I think, yeah.
I feel like there was.
I think it's a better.
Sorry, mate. What were you saying?
I feel like it's kind of a better idea, because with something like art, like it can feel like a bit of just an extension of uni and just trying to sort of not let that go if you go straight after.
Yeah.
But
The
I think to step
influx
back.
of people doing masters straight after BAs just because of the funding was never given to people. You used to have to like save up the money and pay for yourself, so no one ever used to. Because I know obviously because of Teesside used to have about 6 people on the MA, and it was never people from the BA. And then only when they started giving people funding to go straight onto the MA, the MAs like blew up, and there was like 40 students. And I know from talking to one of the lecturers at Uni of Leeds, the arts, the one you went to, I can't think of, we've changed the name, haven't they? Leeds College of Art. He was saying that because of the way that universities are being enforced now, is that they're trying to become more businesses, that they had to start an MA because the people higher up said, yeah, that we're losing money by not having an MA because that many students want to do the MA now, so they have to do it.
That's off it though.
It's weird now. It's like it used to be the BA was the free one, and then the masters is the one that you have to sort of save up for.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like it's just after you kind of get given money for it, but you also definitely don't.
Yeah. You do have to pay it back one day, sadly, but it seems so distant that like it doesn't feel like it's money yet.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah. At the minute, it's free money.
I agree. I think there's something to do in university later on. Like age definitely brings a type of knowledge to your education that could give you a different experience. Because the people that when I joined university, I was the only one who was 18. Everyone else was 20 and above, like in my year, and I felt behind people at certain times. But like I feel like if I'd went later, maybe my practice that I worked on while I was there would have been better, and I might have got a better grade as well. I might have got more out of it, basically.
Yeah. I think it's like
because you did an extra year, didn't you, Charlie? You did a.
Yeah, I did a foundation and then went to uni. So I was like a year old. I think everyone does that. Like he went to, well, might be 7 on my course, but it felt like sort of everyone had done that. But I think there's 2 sides of it, isn't it? Because you could argue that it's going straight from education to education is like sort of hitting the ground running and sort of not maybe letting yourself sort of slow down or anything. But then on the other side, like to go away and sort of work for a bit and like sort of see how your practice flows on its own. I feel like you can sort of end up squeezing more out of it, really.
Yeah, I would agree. I would like to go back and do university again now, if you know what I mean, knowing what I know now, which is where other people might have been at. Yeah. Which is where other people were at when they started, who were like in the same year as me, which is it's a bit different, isn't it?
I feel like I definitely benefited from being like a couple of years older than being just 18 when I started uni. Because I think I started when I was like 20, 21. I feel like I knew more.
Yeah, you will have.
Generally, just from...
Your brain matures, you start to like understand stuff better as you're a bit older.
Yeah. You appreciate the time a lot more after like just working and stuff like that.
I know, imagine now going back to university and just having like money for nothing. Just going to uni.
Yeah, I feel like especially like even like a year or two out from doing your BA, doing your masters is just, I feel like you need to, because I feel like so many people just do the BA and go straight onto the MA and then see. I mean, yeah, it might be like a constant like, oh, you get to continuously make work, but I feel like it puts you in a real perspective, like the real world of like trying to make shows and make art and trying to try and make money basically by doing art and stuff like that. And it shows like how hard it actually can be.
I understand it,
yeah. Charlie, you still there? You can cut out on mine.
I'm still here, yeah. I think my signal was going to be shit there.
Oh, that's alright.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a bit about your music background, bands, the solo stuff you're doing, stuff you've done, what you planning to do, or what's ahead, or?
Yeah, so as well as my my band Uncle Buzzard, we got a new tune coming out. That's because obviously we've not had access. We normally have access to the recording studios where Dan does his masters, but obviously not open because of lockdown. But we've got a fair few things that we've sort of been meaning to record. So we've actually managed to sort of make the basement of our house into a recording studio.
Right.
And we all thought it was going to be like a bit shit. Like we probably weren't going to actually do anything with the recordings, but definitely one of them is sort of on the way to being put out as full time.
I think that would lead to it can lead to a better aesthetic, just like you said with like the analog sort of working, sort of a basement studios. Like it could lead to a musical aesthetic definitely compared to something that you'd make in a studio, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think sort of creative limitations are actually quite important to like forming things in a certain way, because it makes you sort of, when you have to address a problem when you're trying to make something, it kind of makes you think about why you're doing what you're doing rather than just going for the best quality sort of most standard thing you can. Do you know what I mean?
I do understand. Yeah.
How would you describe your music then, for anyone that hasn't heard before?
Uncle Buzzard. We are jazzy, but not jazz by any stroke of imagination. Is it alt rock? Does that
alt rock?
Like that just sort of with guitars in it, isn't it? It's guitar, it's synthy. We use a lot of seventh chords, so it's a little jazzy. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Check it out if you haven't heard it. All you listeners out there.
I've been listening to your latest single, your Manny Bianco one. Yeah, You and Blue. Is it on Me and Blue?
Well, I suppose from your point of view, it could be Me and Blue.
It could be.
As in Me and Blue.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's like surfy, isn't it? It's like.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally like, that was recorded just before lockdown in the basement. That one could have been in a recording studio, and it wasn't. It was in the basement, but yeah. That was just all laziness. Produced by Danny Blackburn. Very good.
Do you ever feel like your art and your music sort of meld together, or have you ever thought about using your music as like an art? Or
what's weird because I feel like I do try and keep them separate, but I do. So everything is connected inevitably, really, isn't it? Like,
is there a reason why you keep them distant?
Well, they're just separate in my head. They're just about different things. Yeah. They're sort of trying to do different things, like aiming for sort of different audiences, maybe. So, but I mean, there's things that are inevitably going to be the same thing. So, like, I like to make my own sort of cover art as well. And the Me and Blue cover was a screenshot from my degree show final piece. that was played about and edited and made into this background for cover art for that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like everything comes from the same pot, but I think I'm trying to keep them
Keep them
to do
separate.
different things. Yeah.
It's good. It's good. I remember your old band. I can't remember what they're called. I remember going to all the gigs in the West Garth.
Which one?
Sorry.
It's gone.
Which one? The metal one, the flower mouth.
Flower
Yeah,
mouth,
Rob.
mate. Flower mouth. Yeah, the
Are you losing signal?
Yeah,
Flower
losing
mouth.
signal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
They were good times though.
Yeah, me and Greg do listen to them.
You listen
Listen
to
back to those. Yeah, yeah. We've got a few cans in the front room and that, you know, those. When it gets like a certain lateness, it's sort of old band time.
Oh, that's great, that mate.
I have been there when it's been happening before.
Well, you've been involved in old cans and old bands time.
Yeah.
I
You
have
cut
been,
it out.
I've been very drunk.
Sounds good.
I get picked up
So
for
where do you
myself.
see your
My
art or
brother.
music leading you to? Like, what type of jobs are you interested in trying to get, or is there a plan for after masters, or are you just sort of going with the flow at the moment?
Well, I think anyone who is after a particular job isn't going to make sort of music and art the focus. I think it would be.
I suppose, yeah.
I'm not saying, obviously, like I'm not saying I would never. You know, I'm too much of an artist to be pinned down by a job.
Oh,
Yeah.
But like,
a wayward soul.
I think definitely in terms of like what I'm doing it with my masters and stuff, I don't think I'm particularly aiming for a job necessarily. Like you don't do a fine art masters, do you? If you want a job.
It's very depressing,
But,
isn't it?
Have you got a plan for after
Yeah.
your masters, though? Like, are you thinking about
I mean, I'm
doing
hoping that I'm
PhD
going to
or-
come up with that during my masters. It's 2 years in London, and I'm going to do lots of networking, hopefully.
Yeah. I wish I moved away somewhere bigger to do my masters. Like, definitely. There's just more of an art scene in the last... Sorry, mate?
Are you doing it now?
No, I finished it at the start of this year. Yeah, I went straight from college to uni to masters, just got it all out the way. So,
All right. Yeah.
so I've done it all on
Got a job in game.
Got a job in game, stuck in game, playing games. Getting furloughed, living the life. I love it. I love furlough so much.
Do you know when you're supposed to go back yet, Stein?
To work, no idea. They'll get us back in as soon as possible. Mike Ashley will grind me into dust for pennies.
To be fair, though, I mean, I can imagine Greg's work. I can imagine game working out pretty well compared to like Greg's or something. Because I mean, realistically, if you have one person coming in at a time,
Yeah,
you probably still get furloughed because they probably won't need that many staff as well. So they'll probably still have you on furlough.
that'd be good. I feel like we should, because we rely a lot on trade-ins and people bringing in consoles and stuff, and I'd feel wary about people bringing in their household products.
Yeah,
like,
I can
sort
imagine
of
they probably
take
put
them.
limitations on that.
Yeah, I reckon they'd have to.
Yeah.
It's horrible anyway. Some of the consoles people bring in are like the smell of fags. Like,
Yeah.
you have to tell people like, oh, I can't take any console. It smells like fags. And like they seem offended. Like, I can't smell
you
it.
just
I
said
was
that
like,
to
of
them.
course you can't smell it. Your whole house probably smells like fags.
It must smell a lot
Sorry,
for
mate.
that to transfer to a games console.
I don't know, it's just if people smoke in the room, isn't it?
I suppose, yeah. I don't know.
Are you working anywhere else at the moment, Charlie? Or are you just
Yeah, I was. I mean, I was doing 2 jobs at once. Like till February, I was doing fundraising for charity door to door.
nice?
And I was working in an art supply shop. But then I got sacked from the door to door one, and then I was just working in the art supply shop, and I technically still work there.
That's good though. The art supply shop sounds like the type of cute job I'd like more than working in game.
It is, yeah, it's quite a good job to be fair. Yeah, just selling paint to people and that.
Yeah, at least it's kind of in the field.
Yeah.
Like,
You're in the same realm.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it's
roughly.
it's the most we can dream of, really, isn't it? To work in an art supply shop.
How come you didn't want to do your MA at Leeds then?
I've actually already made it. I actually shouldn't move away for a
You
master's.
don't need to do your masters, mate. Like,
How come you didn't want to
made
do your
it.
masters in Leeds, Charlie?
Well, I don't know really. I think I don't know. I think London was always on the cards for me. I think because I feel like I wouldn't necessarily have got what I wanted from it if I'd done it in Leeds. Whereas I feel there's potential to doing it elsewhere, somewhere like.
So is your main plan for Masters just to try and network as much as possible and try and get a foothold, basically?
Essentially, yeah. Just sort of see what happens, really. I'm not going to sort of, anything's going to be a bonus from it. Obviously, I'm going to get a qualification, essentially, but I'm going to try and make the most of my time while I'm there and stuff like that.
It's good, it's good. You can take a lot more from an education than just the qualifications if you do it properly.
This is what I mean, I think, as well, in terms of doing, obviously, art subjects. I feel like there's a lot more to it than just the piece of paper at the end of it.
There is.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Changing the entire way you think, can't it? Like a good art degree with
Yeah. That's what I think. That's why. I mean, I don't know if it was the same for you, but when I was in uni, it was this whole thing of all the tutors saying don't even think about what grade you're getting, just make good work.
Yeah.
Focus on putting on a good degree show.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, they were always pushing us.
I feel so bad for everyone graduating this year.
Yeah, I had to as well. Yeah. The degree show was the best time ever.
It was literally because we did our degree show in uni, and then we went to London to do free range with the degree show.
Oh, really?
And that 2 months of my life was pretty sweet.
I imagine it. Sounds good.
Do you want to sound like I'm bragging?
It's a bit weird that you feel like you might have sort of exhausted your need for Leeds, or feel like you can get more from being somewhere else when moving to London. Whereas I'm in the current stage where I want to move from Middlesbrough to Leeds, and it seems like you're on the next stage after that.
Was that the trajectory? Is it living in Teesside to then living in? I want to move to Leeds.
Yeah.
Then get bored of Leeds. We move to London.
We move to London.
Yeah.
And you have to move to Berlin after.
By the time we move to London, I'll be moving to New York.
Yeah. You'll have to move to Berlin after London. That's it.
Yeah, Berlin and New York, and then the moon or something.
Then you move back to Teesside and retire, though. It's
move back to Seaside and get a job in Teesside Uni.
Yeah, by the time I go to Berlin, I'll be retired up in Ingleby.
Nice.
So why don't you tell us about your crits that you did last week then?
The crits, they were really good actually. I think we were sort of expecting them to be a bit weird, maybe a bit sort of because obviously everyone who's done a crit before is used to doing it in studios at uni or whatever, and to do it sort of over face via over Zoom with screen sharing and stuff like that was kind of a weird experience. But I think it went really well. Everyone got on really, really well. It was just nice, really. It was more of a sort of gassing all your mates up session than a critique necessarily. Well, it wasn't particularly critical, but it was. I think it was very helpful.
Yeah, that's good.
I haven't got a lot from it. I think we're going to try and do some more in the coming weeks, because it'd be good to get some sort of more people that we don't know or don't speak to as much to come on and talk about it.
There might be a way to do a sort of open call for that, where you can ask people online if they want to come critique the work.
Well, yeah, we did it because I just put it on my Instagram, Ben shared it, and then Charlie put it on the webpage.
Right, yeah.
Got a few people off that.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Because people who are your friends won't want to critique you properly, will they?
Yeah.
But sometimes maybe your friends are the people who do critique you properly, because people who don't know you might be scared of offending you. Where I wouldn't mind telling Charlie he's been an idiot if he was doing something stupid.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. Refer to cheat sheet for questions.
Who do you love the most?
Yeah. Who do you think is the supreme Charlie out of you two?
I can tell you who thinks.
Who would win a fight, Charlie 1 or Charlie 2?
Well,
I'm Charlie 1, but
are you Charlie 1?
Oh, definitely. To be fair, I mean, you can be Charlie 1 if you want Charlie 1.
No, it's
you were
fine.
on first.
I'll be Charlie 2. I've been on my life.
I've seen Charlie 2 not be able to do one press up before.
Sure, I still can.
In fact, I can do at least 3.
Yeah, it's just incredible to see a man not
That's
be
what
able.
it's all about fighting as well, press ups. If you can do press ups, you can fight. Everyone knows that.
It's probably got some truth to it.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Do you miss doing shows then, Charlie? You haven't done a show for a while.
Yeah, properly. I haven't had a show. My last show was in October, I think.
Which one was that?
It was the one me and Ben did.
Oh, I was in it. Yeah.
Freehold.
That was
Yeah,
a
you
good
were in
one.
it.
Yeah.
It was sick actually. Yeah.
How come you
that
haven't
was
done a show since
that went so
obviously
well
not
because it
lockdown?
was done through like an open call. We put it on Curator Space and stuff.
Yeah.
And we essentially we knew like 2 other people that were doing the show, and then everyone else we just met through this online call, and it
How
was
come you haven't done one since then?
because it's been a sort of combination of getting my master's application done properly, applying for all the things I wanted to apply for, and working and getting.
Oh.
He'll be back. 1 second, just wait. We're having some technical difficulties here.
Oh.
What point?
Here it
Did I
comes.
cut off?
Hello? Hello, Charlie.
Hello.
What did you say? You cut off all that.
Which bit did it stop at?
All of it. How come you haven't done a show? I heard a mixture of work
Fucking, I said
and
loads
something
there. Yeah, it's been a mixture of like applying for my masters, getting all that done properly, and like I applied for a couple, which I wanted to do properly. So I've been sort of had my foot off getting sacked from my job, which is meant applying for more jobs, and and obviously the lockdown thing, even though it was ages before lockdown that I did anything. But I think I'm definitely, when everything starts reopening again, going to be back on it.
Oh, why don't you talk about the show you've got planned for after lockdown that you and Greg are sort of planning together?
Oh, that's basically just Greg doing that, you know.
Just Greg? Greg told me that you.
That's fully Greg's idea. Like that's.
I'll wait until we interview Greg then.
Yeah.
Are we going to get Greg on?
I'll force Greg to come on. He'll be living in my house next week.
Really?
Next
I
month,
want to get both
maybe.
of you on when this is all over, who have cans and record it properly in person.
Oh, yeah. Stein wants the podcast to turn
We'll
into
have
just
it
an
next month.
alcoholic thing.
Yeah. I don't want to turn it into an alcohol thing. I'd
I
like
think
to.
that's good.
Yeah, I think it is as well.
Like hot one before we shot.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
A lot of artist conversations end up happening in the pub, probably. Like,
To be fair, though, potentially we could start doing road podcasts where we just interview people at a show outside in the smoking area.
yeah, people, it'd be mince mates like that. That would be good. That's when you get
That'd be
like,
funny.
and they've had a couple of red stripes and they're getting chatty.
And they're slagging everyone up.
yeah, oh, couldn't beat it.
How would you interview artists in that situation, though?
Ugly how you cut out there.
Outside exhibition openings.
I think I'd have to get in touch with artists before the show, and then if they're around afterwards, we'd be able to interview them while we're there. But I'm not too sure.
What was that?
Sorry,
I think you should do like a hot ones, but with
with shots.
That'd be quite fun.
Yeah,
Watch me throw up all over them.
yeah. What you're going to drink, are you, Charlie?
Yeah, why not, eh? I have to join in. I mean,
you can do it with Vika.
Or you can have a full shot and I'll have half.
It just doesn't sound fair, does it? But I mean, like, I will enjoy it. So.
That's not fair. The interviewer drinks less than the interviewee.
Yeah, but I reckon if you buy any artist alcohol, they'll do an interview.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, well, like, yeah.
Yeah,
I reckon most artists will say yes to an interview because it's like, you know, publicity and shit.
yeah, yeah. But like,
Everyone's locked down still anyway.
yeah, for now, mate. We'll worry about this in the future, probably.
We'll worry about it in 2 months' time when everyone's got outside and they don't want to talk to us anymore.
Yeah. It has been good that people have wanted to talk to us because they're bored. It's been fantastic.
You will have to start doing it in the pub and buying people drinks after this. I'm
Yeah,
afraid.
I know. Yeah, we will.
When you do that, we can do a follow-up one.
Sorry, mate.
We can do a follow-up one when you start doing that.
That sounds good. Yeah, I would
You
like
can buy
that
us
a
a few
lot.
pints.
Well, I'll buy you a pint.
That'd be quite interesting. Just like podcasts where you just fucking set up a camera and just start filming.
I don't know if you can film in public places, but it's worth thinking about.
Can't imagine.
You could just get a deal with a pub and just be like, "Can we do it in here? We'll put your logo after the thingy." The George in Stockton would let you do that.
Do you reckon? Probably get it in the Linny as well.
Yeah.
The Linny, we get stabbed in the.
Yeah, you're not allowed your phone in there. Can we set up this podcast, please? In the Sam Smith's pubs in the UK.
We get screamed at by the locals.
Yeah, we actually would. Like, what you doing there?
Yeah.
Great.
So do you miss Borough at all then, Charlie?
I think aspects of it, yeah.
What aspects?
Just like how well everyone knows it, and how well everyone knows everyone. You can go on a night out and see like loads of people that you haven't seen in ages and stuff.
Yeah, but I feel
I kind of miss that because
every time I have been gone out on a night out in Middlesbrough now, I don't know anyone anymore. But I feel like back then I used to.
yeah.
Back in the day.
No, that's started to happen. I feel like in probably the past like 3 years. Well, since I was in like second year, I reckon. I used to go back to Teessides, and then everyone is just like, it feels like everyone's 16 in like clubs and that.
Well, last time I went out with Max and Greg, some lass asked me how old I was, and I was like, "Oh, I'm 24," and she balked at me.
I think we are old now, mate. We have to start going to like the Dovecot and having gins, then going home at 10.
Yeah, start the fight and go now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are getting too old. Like
we are massively.
Well, to be fair though, we were just saying that Charlie's only 22, so he's still got his life to live.
Yeah.
Me and Stein are pretty much dead.
I'm 20.
I feel like I'm complaining about nearly getting 25.
I'm 1 year older. I'm only 23. It's not like I'm fucking.
Alright, it's just me then. Just me almost dead.
Do you reckon the RT in Leeds outmatches the RT in Middlesbrough?
Depends.
I like to think that we live in a society that's not built on competition; it's built on collaboration. Tom.
Oh no.
No, I think. What do you mean by like outweighs?
Well, I don't know because it's hard to think because it's probably on a grander scale in Leeds, and you probably get bigger shows. But I don't know if the community is the same.
You need to be more clicked in, I suppose, in Leeds though. Like, there's loads of events always happening, but you need to know people.
With Leeds, it's obviously it's a major city, isn't it? So it's always obviously going to have a bit more of a booming art scene than somewhere that's a bit more of a town.
Yeah.
And I think it's you can't really compare them when you have things in Yorkshire Sculpture International and stuff like that in Leeds, and you've got obviously the Sculpture Park and I mean it's not in Leeds, but the Hepworth Wakefield and the Henry Moore Institute and stuff like that. Like you've got a lot more big institutions, which I think obviously filters through to to having a lot more smaller galleries and the arts union and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like it's just
I think it was a stupid question on my half. Sorry.
So I'm trying to say, just stupid question.
You're just trying to bait you out into saying that Middlesbrough art scene shite.
No, I wanted to hear that was better. That Leeds is a terrible place to be.
But
Leeds does have a good art scene,
here's my conclusion on the point. Comparatively, in terms of percentages, I think maybe Middlesbrough does have a fighting chance. If you take it if there was some way of measuring the goodness of an art scene with per capita, then I think there's a lot. It's a lot tighter in Teesside. Everyone sort of knows each other a bit more. It's a bit more. It feels like there's a bit more happening because it's so tight. Do you know what I mean?
Tight. Yeah, I do. But we only have the one big institution, and everything else is sort of almost homemade art. It's all run by people from here.
Called grassroots.
Yeah. Is that what it's called, grassroots?
Could you go around a little house on Baker Street that's not a house anymore, and it's just falling to bits a bit, but there's loads of art all over it. There's a charm to it, I think.
I'd agree. We're a strong community.
Represent.
Yeah.
No, it's better.
It's less the type of art you're talking about because there's like little shows in Leeds happening all the time type of thing. But like I say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like there's lots of little shows put on by lots and lots of different people who don't necessarily move in circles, whereas I feel like Borough Art Scene is like one big thing in it.
Yeah, I suppose that's why Middlesbrough feels like a part of like tight knit little family because it's the same people that go to the events.
Yeah.
It is like a little because there's that few. So there's obviously the auxiliary panel block and Mima, and I know there's the stuff on Baker Street and there's like Platform A Gallery and stuff like that, but they don't get as much traction as like say the auxiliary and panel block.
Yeah.
Where everyone goes to type of thing.
I wish the Broodinell was in Middlesbrough. It's just a good pub, isn't it? I enjoyed it.
It is basically Middlesbrough, like a section of Middlesbrough just been put in the middle of it.
In the middle of Leeds. Yeah.
Like 45% of the people in there when it's busy are from Borough. So
Actually,
it's because everyone's on the natural progression from going from Teesside to Leeds to London.
Yeah.
Everyone gets stuck in the Broodinell for a few years and then they make it past.
That's good. Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie,
we can talk about COD for a bit if you want.
Talk about COD for a bit.
What's your highest kill game?
I got 10 kills the other day and then one back to back.
Back to back.
Hey Tom, why don't we ever go online with you?
Yeah, do you want to go play now? We've done over half an hour. We've had a good episode. We'll go play some COD.
All right. What are you gonna chop it all up in that and use the favourite bits?
Sorry, mate.
Are you gonna chop it all up of that?
No, I'm gonna release it raw with all the mistakes and horrible silences. If you've made it here, thank you for listening to episode 5. I think we're starting to get the hang of things, and episodes seem more structured, and we're just working out how to do it properly. We will have a new episode out every Wednesday, whether it just be an episode of me and Charlie discussing a subject, or an interview with a different artist, or basically anybody who makes work creatively. So thank you very much, and goodbye.